Abdi Ismail Samatar, he's a professor at the University of Minnesota and has written 3 books on East African politics, and he joins us now from Minneapolis. Welcome to the NewsHour. Thank you so much for coming on. Before we talk about this humanitarian crisis, how, if you can explain, did Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed go from receiving a Nobel Peace Prize to sending fighter jets over Tigray in less than a year?
It's not a mystical question, and the answer is simple, that the process of opening Ethiopia for a democratic process that's truly open, I was there in February and March of this year, creates all kinds of opportunities to take advantage of that. And it's really the TPLF, the Tigray People's Liberation Front's inability to come to terms with a democratic regime rather than an ethnic-based regime that has triggered this process of conflict in the region.
And a quick point on the refugee crisis. How worrying is it, given that Ethiopia is Africa's second most populous country?
I think it can be easily contained in my assessment if wise heads prevail. So, for instance, if the Ethiopian Prime Minister and his team in Addis Ababa have to deepen and commit themselves to the democratic project that has started with him a year and a half ago. If they do that, it will be quite reasonably easy to attract the attention and the sort of a loyalty of the Tigray people rather than demonizing them. So I think that can be easily contained very quickly if the guns are silenced, both sides.
You visited Ethiopia earlier this year. How was it then, and how did we get to the point that we are now in November 2020?
Yeah, the tensions were there when I was there. And you can expect this, a country that has been ethnically dominated by 2 groups, elites, for a period of about 200 years. When that process is opened up, all kinds of grievances come to the surface. And so far, they have managed reasonably well in the last couple of years, although there were conflicts between the Oromos and the Somalis, between Tigrayans and Amaras and others. But I think the commitment to democracy, in my assessment, and the transparency of the forthcoming election in about a few months, if that's done properly and it becomes an open, free and fair election held in all over the country, I think this will gradually die down, and Ethiopia may become finally on the road to peace with itself, which it hasn't been for almost 200 years.
And speaking about coming to peace with itself, even if Abiy Ahmed does win this battle against the people of the Tigray region, what kind of Ethiopia will emerge in the wake of this fighting?
I think one of the worrisome signs of this war is that jet fighters from the Ethiopian Defense Forces have been flying and bombing cities. And I think that's the biggest mistake. You don't fly over civilian cities. If you want to target military sites, that's a different story. And so the regime in Addis Ababa must withdraw from that immediately, in my assessment, to win the hearts and minds of the Eritrean people. And if that's done, and then the elections are sort of vindicated by the international community, led by the African Union, and that it's free and fair, I think Ethiopia will gradually begin to step back from the brink, if you like, and move towards a place where there's some degree of national consensus as the kind of governance that the country is going to have.
Really great to get your analysis. Abdi Ismail Samatar, professor at the University of Minnesota. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Mari.